Good morning. It is 11:30 Eastern Time, and that means yet again it is time for another episode of First Chapter Fun. Would you believe? This is episode 50. 50. Good morning, Hank. Hello. I can't believe it's been 50 days. For 50 days in a row, I have had the absolute pleasure of being able to read the first chapter of a different book. Not mine, because I haven't written 50 of them, but of a different book from other authors every day for 50 days in a row. And this, of course, this series continues until Friday. And don't miss Friday because there's stuff going on. So on Friday, there will be a special guest and a surprise announcement. So make sure you tune in then. So good morning, everybody. We have up on Facebook, we have Erica, we have Ali, we have Glennie. Good morning. We have Hank on Facebook as well. Down here, we have Michelle, we have Amanda, who says that she's found so many great authors through this series, which is wonderful because that's exactly what this is about. We have Anita, we have Jennifer, favourite librarian, we have Michelle, we have lots of people already joined. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me again. Now, I know that when I hold stuff up for Facebook, it's back to front, the same as on Instagram, which you can't change, but on Facebook you can. But for whatever reason, the setting on Facebook, it turns me green. It turns me into the Wicked Witch of the East or West, whichever one didn't die first, the one who melted. So I know it's back to front and I apologise for that. I'm going to try and see if I can update the app or what might be going on. But anyway, oh, thank you, Michelle. She just says, love what you do for us. Well, I love you all for tuning in. This is absolutely wonderful. Thank you. So many of you are regularly tuning in and I love it. It's brilliant. So, couple of, well, usual housekeeping things. If this is the first time you've caught an episode of First Chapter Fun, well, you've got 49 episodes that have been saved that you can go and catch up on, you know, when you've got nothing to do. They are all saved on my Instagram feed, and which is Hannah Mary McKinnon. And they are all saved on my Facebook author page, which is also Hannah Mary McKinnon. So you can go and watch them all. Jennifer just said rookies. Yeah, you mean this is your first time? Come on. So if the connection drops, which does happen sometimes, particularly on Facebook when it doesn't like my face or whatever, the connection does sometimes drop. If I freeze and my screen will go blank, I'll be able to, or whatever, and I'll be able to see that it booted me out. So what I will do is continue broadcasting. Eating my hair this morning, gross. I will continue broadcasting on the platform that lets me. I will then go back to the one that chucked me out and I will start the reading again, just in case. It hasn't happened for a while, but now I've said it, it probably will. So how is everyone? I hope you're all doing well. It's gone a bit chilly again here in Oakville, and apparently this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, and my birthday on Sunday, I get double cake, I guess, it's going to be rather cold. So, oh well, spring is on its way. It'll get here eventually, or we'll just go straight into summer and it'll be really hot, which wouldn't surprise me either. So, let me show you today's book. Today we are back to mysteries. Uh-oh, put in the wrong pin. We are back to mysteries, but this one has a paranormal twist. So this is Evening in the Yellow Wood by Laura Kemp. Here we go. This is what I'm reading from today. And Nancy, good morning Nancy, good morning Lisa. Nancy watches, good morning Kaylee. Nancy watches this broadcast on a regular basis and is one of the people who has noticed that I changed on the top two shelves. And she just said Mr. Small is one of my favourites. Yes, that's really funny. Every day the Mr. Man changes. If you've been... I haven't done this for 50 days, obviously, because there aren't 50 books, but I have them all. There's another story in there. But anyway, today's not about Mr. Men books. It is about Laura Kemp's Evening in the Yellow Wood. And Laura will be joining us all, always, perhaps party, but you can leave her questions. You can pop them on Instagram if she pops in, or you can leave them on Facebook. As I mentioned, I will save the video on Instagram. It'll go onto my feed, but when I do that, all of your lovely comments disappear, which is such a shame. They'll still be on my story though. for the rest, the 24 hours. Okay, so let me introduce you to Laura. Oh, how nice. Josephine, a friend from years ago, and I lived at, about a decade ago when we lived in Switzerland before, has just joined. Bonjour, Josephine. I hope you're really well. That's fantastic. Okay, so let me introduce you to Laura Kemp, from whose book I am reading today. Laura is a teacher who loves to write about her home state of Michigan. She has a BA in creative writing from Western Michigan University, where she studied under Stuart Dybek and has had her short fiction and poetry published in Chicken Soup for the Soul, Word Riot, Tonopalah Review, I hope I said that right, SaLit and SLAB, Sound and Literary Art Book. The Pursuit of Happiness, a short story she wrote while at WMU, was chosen as a finalist in the Trial Balloon Fiction Contest. When not writing, Laura enjoys musical theatre, hiking, swimming, reading and performing with her Celtic band She Bag She More. She also enjoys spending time with her husband and 4 children. And you can find out a ton more details on laurakempbooks.com. all in one word. So Evening in the Yellow Wood, which is out now. I have to take my glasses off or everything goes funny and I can't see. Good morning, Carmen. Here we go. Evening in the Yellow Wood. I know it doesn't show up. Oh, it does show up yellow when I tilt it a bit. It's a lot of glare. But if I do that, you can't see the yellow. If I do that, you can. So Evening in the Yellow Wood is Laura's debut. And it's a mystery with a paranormal twist. And so I will now read you the book blurb. Abandoned by an eccentric father on the eve of her 12th birthday, Justine Cook has lived with her fair share of unanswered questions. Now, 10 years later, she leaves her life in southern Michigan and heads north to the mysterious town of Lantern Creek after seeing his picture in a local newspaper. Once there, she discovered her father had been leading a double life and meets the autistic brother she never knew, a young man who is mute but able to read her mind. When a local girl who looks like Justine is mysteriously murdered, Justine joins forces with the sheriff's deputy, Dylan Locke, to capture the killer. But the more they dig for clues to the past, the closer they come to discovering a secret someone will kill to protect. Justine begins to show signs of supernatural power and faces her greatest challenge when she confronts an immortal enemy that has hunted her family for generations. Oh, that sounds wicked. That sounds really, really, Carmen just said, oh, sounds interesting already, doesn't it? Just the back of the book, just the blurb. I'm going to show you the cover again. And then we'll jump right in. So this is Evening in the Yellow Wood by Laura Kemp. And this is the prologue. It was Tuesday afternoon, the sun hot on my pink shoulders as I sat dangling my feet in the shallow end of the community pool. My friend Sherry was by my side when I saw Mum, her face pinched in the unforgiving light. "We need to go," Mum said, as she reached down to pull at my elbow. Instead, she came away with the strap of my blue bathing suit. I muttered under my breath, reached up to swat at her hand in pubescent embarrassment. Suppose it had slipped off and revealed what God had barely given me. What would Jake Jones, my current crush, who was doing backflips off the diving board, think? I didn't move. "Justine!" Mum hissed, and my friend made a face, rolled her eyes and got slowly to her feet while slinging her towel over her shoulder. "What's the rush?" I asked, annoyed, thinking I would make her pay later for being so pushy by refusing to do homework or take out the trash, stink up the place. "You'll see," she snapped, and something inside me took notice. I shut my mouth before I made things worse and grabbed my white terry cloth towel, keeping pace behind as we walked towards our brown Pontiac. We got in and rode home in silence, the radio bleating white noise, my friend giving me the look that said I'd better call later with the scoop as we pulled up outside her split-level house. I tried to smile, to apologise, but Sherry understood. Mum was a dork. But my friends put up with it because we had a ping pong table in our basement and my dad was cooler, hip, zen. As his only child, I felt the same. I looked at Mum, wondering why a man who had tied inner tubes together with fishing line and swam with me to the middle of Tack Lake had married someone so uptight, realising moments later I wouldn't be here if he hadn't seen something in her that I didn't. "Bye," Sherry called over her shoulder, and then an exaggerated wink. "Call you later." I knew she would, and that Mum would want to know what we talked about, and that Dad would sit eating his chilli supper and wonder about things, sometimes so far away I couldn't touch him even though we sat side by side. We pulled into our driveway 5 minutes later. I sat in the back seat, sullen and staring outside at the dapples the sun made on our cracked cement, until Mum finally turned to me. "It's your dad." So now he belonged to me. "What about him?" I shrugged. "He's not here." "I know that," I answered in a surly tone. Dad always took off for the woods when we went to the pool, said he couldn't stand the crowds or the smell of chlorine. "I mean, he's gone." She paused. "Really, gone." My eyes darted towards the garage. Dad's spot was empty. "Where did he go?" "That's just it." Mum put a hand to her face, touched her index finger to the bridge of her nose, and I hated that she left me hanging. "Mum," I asked, wanting her to answer quickly so I would know how to feel, "where's Dad?" "I have no idea, Justine." I tried to make sense of what she'd said, even as my breath hitched in my chest. I thought back to the last time I'd seen him, that morning before he left for his shift at the paper mill. He'd bent down, ruffled the top of my head and kissed me on the cheek. "Be good, Muffet. Give your mum a break." "He probably had to work overtime or something and forgot to tell you." She shook her head and the barest of smiles touched her lips. I called it her Mona Lisa smile, the one I hated because it usually meant I was wrong. "I went out to run some errands while you were at the pool, and when I came home..." She touched her nose again, her brown hair falling over her face in a way that made her look like a nun in prayer. "I found this." I saw something in her clenched fist, something she was handing over the back seat, a piece of crumpled notebook paper that had been folded neatly into quarters, her name printed in the block letters I recognised. With shaking hands I took it, the smell of chlorine suddenly suffocating me. I looked at Mum again. "Read it." I did. The first line made it clear he loved us very much and always would. The second had me tearing at the car door handle, racing up the driveway and into the house we'd shared for almost 12 years. I can't tell you why I had to leave or if I'll ever be able to come back. I made it to the front door, yanked it open and fumbled with the hook and eyelatch on our screen. "The painting in the studio just sold. Put the money towards Justine's college." "Dad!" "It would be better if you don't try to find me." I ran upstairs to his bedroom and threw open the closet door. Some clothes and an overnight bag he used when he went fishing were missing. I ran down the hall to my own room, a pink and purple confection I'd just started decorating in my own style, one of Dad's forest landscapes above the bed. Had he left something for me? A note explaining what he really meant to say, a place we could meet up and ditch Mum, live the free and easy life we'd always wanted. A package tied carefully with silver ribbon that just matched my bedspread was sitting in plain sight. A card was taped to the centre. Muffet. I tore open the card so quickly I cut my finger. An orange kitten with a party hat adorned the front, a ball of pink twine between his front paws. "Hope your birthday is perfect." I clenched my teeth so hard my jaw hurt. What was Dad thinking? My birthday was a month away and I sure as hell didn't care about a stupid kitten, and damn if my birthday this year would be anything close to perfect. I went to my knees, my own hair falling against my hot cheeks and sticking there. The next minute I was ripping up the card and that awful orange kitten with the party hat. I sat in the middle of the confetti pieces for a long time, sobbing, my face pressed against my purple bedspread. Dad was gone. The zen vanished. The magic over. That was the prologue of Evening in the Yellow Wood by Laura Kemp. Mystery with a paranormal twist, which sounds awesome. I can't get away with saying awesome. Sounds brilliant. There we go. That's better. I loved reading that chapter. So that is the opening. Very emotional, and you already know it's going to be a great story. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. That was a quick read today. So let me tell you about tomorrow's book. I'm going to show you the cover again because we have time. You want to see that cover again, right? Evening in the Yellow Wood. Go check that one out by Laura Kemp. Mystery with Nancy just said, please read more. Oh, Glennie said that was sad. I know, right? I mean, you come home, you're 12, you come home and your dad's gone. Oh, sad, very sad. So tomorrow's book, I'm very excited about as well. You've quite possibly... Oh, thank you, Laura. She just said, you sound brilliant. Thank you so much. No, thank you for letting me do this, and to Panda Moon Publishing for letting me do this for you. This is great. Thank you. So tomorrow's book, we're back, well, still thriller without the paranormal twist, and you might have come across this one, Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Rubbel. Rubbel? Stephanie, I'm going to have to ask you how I need to pronounce that properly to make sure I get it right. So this is tomorrow's book, which I have read and which is amazing. And I will tell you all about that tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. As always, right here on Instagram and right here on Facebook. So I hope that you'll be able to tune in. So until then, please, as always, stay safe, stay kind, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.